am I not mistaken? That movies do tend to do that. So
Yeah, but at that point, you're asking yourself, how much is based on a true event are you willing to play with? Like, can I go make a 9/11 movie and be like, based on a true event where like magically the twin towers never fall?
me,
Like,
you know who else did that though? Wasn't Blair Witch Project for a long time? They was like based off of true events, and then like they had to fucking like go back and renege on their statement and say, no, this is just fake. Please forgive us for making this movie and making y'all believe that it was real.
I don't know the answer to that because I was like 8 when that movie came out and
How
I
old
was
are you,
scared of
Louis?
it.
How old are you?
I just turned 33.
I'm 34. Shit, I
Happy
thought I remember being
birthday
like a
to
teenager when that
you.
movie came out. But yeah, you might be right.
No, I think
More immediate. It was more immediate when Blair Witch Project was found out that it wasn't based on a true story.
hmm
Like they in the build up to it, they kind of hyped it up that it was. And people were just like, ah, they're actors.
Yeah, I don't know. With that, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's coming up this year that
Yeah, there is.
nobody remembers. All right, history, you ready to lead us off with the I said what I said?
Yeah, bro. And I was gonna do the starter stream, but I'm gonna just go with it. And I really want to fucking dig right here into it. First, fucking, I said what I said. Oh, so if you are new to the actual stream and if you're listening to this podcast for the first time, make sure you check out our podcast on Spotify and iHeartRadio, wherever you get your audio acoustical enjoyment pleasures from. So make sure you check those out on there. If we are looking at the actual screen before these dudes actually decide to come back, let's go back to my normal screen. Oh, I'm sorry. We're gonna wait till our guests come inside of here. But with that, my name is History Williams. Thanks a lot for joining us. You can probably see all of my stuff in the back right there. Please pay no mind to that. It's my bookshelf. It's the way that rich people have bookshelves. I decided to have extension cords and workout cables there. With that, right over to my right over here. They got my man right there with the Detroit Pistons when they were actually good hat on. His name is Jamel Watson. He is our residential movie reviewer. So give a big shout out to that homie right now. Give a big shout out to that homie. Oh my God, all the extra sounds. And then right below me, we got this homie. Below me, that is JT the Voice. He is our residential voice of voice of the people, voice of reason for the and our voice actor. So big shout out to that person right there as well. Boom. And we got a special guest. If you're looking down at the screen as well to that bottom right corner, that is Luis Guzman. Or how am I supposed to say it? How am I supposed to say it? Is it Luis Guzman? No. Luis Garcia. So big shout out to Luis Garcia. I'm messing with you, bro. I'm messing with you. I just God, bro. I want you to just to believe in yourself. I want you to have this it does that is not true. Don't let that boy lie to you. Don't let him lie to you at all. Oh, damn. Oh, fuck. Kids, give if you're listening to this, if parents, if you're deciding to be reckless enough to let your kids listen to this podcast, I would let you know that your parents do actually love you, even though they're being reckless enough to let you listen to this podcast. So, oh, damn. That's so fucked up. All right, with that, if you're new to the podcast, we do actually do the segment. It's called "I Said What I Said." We have 45 minutes that we actually break down all of the shit that happens in our modern media today inside of the news, and we talk about how that relates to our current media as well. You get 2 minutes on the clock for the person who's being the question is being asked to, and if it sparks a conversation, cool, that's fine. But if the conversation is dead, we're gonna ring that bell. Oh, wrong one. You want to hit that bell right there. Boom, boom. You got to hit that bell right there. Once you hit that bell, the topic is dead. Let's move on to the next thing. With that, I'm going to start off with the first question, and I feel like this is a question that JT can take us off a lead on. This one is LeBron James was just in the middle of a press release. We've already talked about Kyrie Irving a few weeks back and him posting the Hebrews to Negroes documentary. LeBron James in the middle of a press release, press conference, asked the reporters, "Can I ask you a question?" And essentially asked these reporters, "Hey, you asked me the question about Kyrie Irving and everybody else, but you never asked me anything about Jerry Jones." And it seems like that every time our people do something, it's at the tickers, it's on the front of any pages and everything like that. But when you have a person like Jerry Jones who had his history, and he said, "I understand that it was when he was younger, it's 14 and everything like that, but we didn't give him as much scrutiny as we gave Kyrie Irving." When you have that issue, you didn't make a big issue about it, but you made a big issue about Kyrie Irving. Now, JT, as a person who has been a translator, anger translator for even evangelical Christians on a nice Saturday morning right before they're going to go drinking out with their Uncle Billy, I'm going to ask you this question. Do you feel like Jerry Jones, first off, should be forgiven for that picture that he has when he was 14 years old? So Jerry Jones is the owner of the Dallas Cowboys, and he had a picture when he was 14 years old in the middle of the protests against integrating schools. Jerry Jones has a picture taken of him with a group of white supremacists. Yeah. Yes. Mhm.
Let's be honest. They said the National Football League, it's all privately owned. But ultimately, what we're looking at right here is when somebody black does something, why is a black person, a different black person, always expected to stand up and talk and speak for them? Speak on behalf of this person. I don't know them. You know what I'm saying? Like LeBron wasn't sitting with Kyrie when he was watching this thing, was he? You know what I'm saying? So I think that the LeBron is right. What he's trying to do is he's trying to shed light on the reporters asking selective questions. And they're not really asking questions that are important to us. Like, is the owner of the Dallas Cowboys still racist? It's a very good question to ask. And if you can't prove no, might be. But you'd already know he a crotchety old man. So really what LeBron was trying to do was be like, y'all need to ask the real questions. And nobody ever wants to ask the real questions. Y'all be asking about hot button issues so you can sell things. But there is systemic change, and I think that's what LeBron was alluding to. So I think that's pretty good on his part.
So now, Jamel, do you have any retorts to that at all, man?
Not media personality I follow very extensively is Bomani Jones. Podcast Right Time with Bomani Jones, one of the best in the game. And it's something that he often talks about when it comes to players and the stuff that players have to answer to. Because if you remember a couple years ago, there was a little dust up about China, and people were coming out the woodwork talking about why aren't the NBA players saying stuff about China because of some massacre going on with the Muslim minorities in China because the NBA has this big partnership with China and
Hmm.
everything else. But the thing that that Romani pointed out is that it's always the players who have to answer for other stuff that the players do or stuff that they might not be equipped or actually versed on answering. But when you have situations like that come up with the owners, say for example, Robert Sarver with the Phoenix Suns, who just had a massive scandal that's forcing him out to sell his team, you rarely hear other owners being asked these questions. And it's always, okay, let's focus on the players because they're visible and not necessarily on these billionaire owners because throughout every league, these guys are so rich and so powerful, they really don't have to answer to or for anything. It's like, the players are going to answer and they're going to have to be the meat shields in some of these situations. We don't have to. Like, even though some of these other owners are racist, sexist, homophobic, and done all types of crimes, y'all don't never, like, you don't ask Jerry Jones about what's going on with the owner in Washington. Or you don't ask the owner of the Lions what's going on with you. Like, you don't ask these questions. You never do that with these players. And I think that's an important point that needs to be asked by these reporters. It's like, hey, go to them. They've got the power. They're the ones who have like actual power that can make changes. And so I I do agree with what LeBron was saying. You didn't ask me about Jerry Jones because well, that's not something that you may want to hear my opinion. Why not? Like, why are you making me, or why do you always expect me to have this opinion about other players or about other athletes when they have these lip dust stuff? And so that was it. I just that was just a thought.
No, no, it's cool, man.
thought.
So now when it comes down to it, man, we've kind of really had a repeat of like the last few weeks. You had the situation with Kanye West now apparently walking out with a white supremacist and in the middle of the actual radio show, and then also giving praise to like Hitler and some other people in the middle of the interview and shit like that. And also some of the stuff that's going on with his actual divorce. So, for example, he gave the house that he had bought next to Kim to Kim. Kim gets to keep a lot of the property that happened in Idaho and so on and so forth. But let's move on to something that's actually pretty awkward, I guess, is that it seems like the U.S. has lost track of Brittany Griner. So they have they moved Brittany Griner to a specific camp inside of Russia, and it's considered one of the actual worst camps in Russia. And there was an interview with one person who was actually part of it, and it's been fairly known, especially Brittany Griner has stated that these people have been showing racist beliefs and actions towards it. So I have a question for you, Luis. Is Lewis? I'm sorry. Um, I said that fucking wrong. I'm sorry, dog. I keep calling call you Louise, dog. I'm sorry, my bad. Lewis. I said that Luis is correct, right? Then why the fuck did you? All right, so no, but I'm saying when I first initially said your name at the very beginning, I got shit because I said it, and somebody said like, "Oh yeah, you said it with a Z." And I was like, "No, Luis Guzman." I'm like that's the only way I know how to fucking say it correctly. But you my homie though, bro, and I that if that's a good thing because like Luis Guzman is one of my favorite actors. So don't at least like comedy actors. Pandering all you want, man. I don't give a fuck what you say. You call it whatever you want to fucking call it. Wait, wait, wait. How did I say give you a fuck you? I didn't say that to you at all. What did I do to you? Oh no, it was just a. Nah, bro. I didn't. Fuck. I didn't realize I said fuck you, bro. I thought I was just saying like me. I thought that you would disagree with me about something. I would just say like, nah, bro. If you don't like Louis, oh yeah. So it wasn't even like anything like that, bro. I apologize about that, man. It's straight up not like that at all. So that's
Oh no,
Wakia.
I got it. I got it.
That's Wakia. But
It's
with
supposed to be.
oh my god, shit. So I apologize about this, man.
It's fine.
This is
It's
madness.
funnier this way.
It's Sparta, man. It's Sparta. What the hell? What's going on with my camera, bro? What the fuck?
Mm,
I don't
there
like.
you are.
That is
I
all
can
right.
I can see it. It's all worth it. I can see you.
It
Just
the
You've
hiding
been
fucking
underneath.
frozen on my end for a while.
yeah. It's because of the fact I was moving the stuff around. I was doing like real hood stuff over here. Uh,
So, Louise, what you think about Brittany Griner?
yeah. What you think about Brittany Griner's situation, bro? Do you think that like we're eventually gonna have that girl come home, and then? But my real question was, if you was a
hmm
person in Brittany Griner's situation,
hmm
where would you move after you got out of prison? After you served your term, where would you move?
Um. So here's my thought, right? Like, I think she is being dealt probably a shitty hand
Uh,
because of the political situation that is currently going on in the region.
yes.
Like, I think if this was like the Donald Trump era where we were supposedly BFFs with Russia, right? And like all that other shit before the war in Ukraine, I think she would have gotten a slap on the wrist, told never to come back to Russia, and she would have been put on a plane, and they wouldn't have
Right.
thought second of it, right?
Yep.
Um, but now you have to think about it, and you got to be like, okay, now we got the war with the Ukraine, uh, with the war in
That
Ukraine,
is not going well for Russia.
that is not going well for Russia. That is a this is a horrible regime of a sad little man who's trying to show the world that like I have power and I'm going to abuse it, and I'm trying to create a political scenario where I can have a hostage so that a bigger, more powerful nation does not front. Now, from that political aspect, that's the way I see it. My heart goes out to her. However, if I go to your house and jump on your furniture and break your dishes and fuck your shit up, right? Like I am subjected to the rules of your house, right?
Yes.
So like I'm not, you know, I'm not gonna go over there and do all that shit and expect to walk out scot free or be invited again, right? Like when you go to another country, it is your responsibility as an educated individual to know the rules of that country, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like when everybody makes the big deal of like in Singapore, like you can't chew gum because then they'll beat your ass with like a wooden bamboo stick,
Yeah.
right? Like that's just kind of what it is. I think she's in a shitty situation because of the political like status. However, you were out there breaking the law, their laws,
Excuse me.
you know?
Yeah.
And
No.
like as much as it's like a shitty thing to say, you know, you broke their law,
Yeah.
you know?
I, I I'm gonna turn that to Jamel now. Where do you think that like Brittany Grinder should go? Where do you think that this is gonna end for her? What place do you think that she's gonna be like led to after this?
It's bigger than this. This is very good advertising for why you should never go to Russia. Like there is nothing for me in Russia. There's nothing for you, Louise or
Mhm.
Lewis, JT. It is for none of us. Like,
Hold on, boys.
mhm.
That's not exactly true. So, in Florida, you would be a delicacy if you went to Russia. That's
Yeah.
all I'm saying. So
uh,
you saying there's no
all I'm
reason? No,
saying
no, there
is
is one.
that
There's one, but it's not a good enough reason to go.
Not to go to jail.
I'm just saying
You just
it's
got to
too
go.
look, when it's too few black people, I'm concerned. Like when I'm one of one, that's a little
Well,
too nervous for me.
there's only
I
one
can't be
way
the
to
only
fix that.
chocolate chip in
There's
a
only one
glass
way
of
to
milk.
fix
I
that.
can't do that.
We gotta get
I
Ivanka
can't. I
Trump.
can't. Nah.
We gotta get Ivanka Trump
Uh,
Trump pregnant and have a bunch of babies in Russia. You said that was one
It's
way to
not
fix
worth
that,
it.
JT. I'm asking you questions.
What'd you say?
It is not worth it.
I
I
asked
would
you.
rather. I nah.
What I'm saying is,
What
go find
again?
you some Russian ladies, some
I
local
was
Russian bras. Go to a Russian bar,
I will
make some
Lu-
find.
friends.
I
Luis, I just
find
said.
a
Did I
beautiful,
just
rich
say
Arab
that?
lady or something like that.
I-
Go.
I'll answer to anything. Let's just go. Because my Instagram algorithm will say otherwise. There are plenty of reasons for me to go to Russia.
Yeah. But yeah, in all seriousness, it's
What a
fucked
pet
up
bear.
what's happening with Brittany Griner.
It is.
Go ahead.
Louise makes a very fair point. You got to know the rules of the country that you're traveling to,
Mhm.
and the most important rule when you travel internationally, it's not absorbing the culture. It's not doing any of that shit. It's being able to go home.
Yeah.
Like
Mm-hmm.
if you travel internationally and you can't go back home, you have traveled internationally incorrect. Because there are some places, as Brittany Griner is experiencing, that don't exactly have the leeway that we have in America in some aspects. As shitty as we can be in America, there are still some aspects that are
Some
very good for you. And so
some countries don't
being
play well
gay,
with the
black,
fuck around and find out.
yep, like you, it's like not all these countries is really pro marijuana. Like Japan really don't get down like that. So
Hmm.
you got to study up, find out, and hey, no, be able to come home. That's the
Th-
important thing.
That
Yes,
is
sir.
quality international travel advice.
Yeah.
Brush up on their laws and customs. Make sure you don't offend nobody. Make sure you don't accidentally
Mhm.
get sent to the gulag for 9 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep
You
that
know, like
passport.
Louis said,
Keep that
man,
shit duct taped to you.
but like you said, she broke their laws. Now, did they absolutely go harder on her than they should have? 100%
Oh, for
yes.
sure.
And the shittiest part is Brittany Griner, somebody who you can already tell America doesn't always work for, goes over there and takes one for the home country.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's the most unfair part of this whole thing.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
honestly, if there was no war going on, she'd probably have a better shot. If the war was going in Russia's favor,
She bad.
she'd probably have a better shot. There are
Anyway,
there's too many factors going on that are fucking around.
For
thoughts and
sure.
prayers go out to Brittany Griner, wherever she is, locked up.
Mhm.
They won't let her out. Much love to you.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Hmm.
Now, here's the next question, and as a person who is greatly positive about smacking somebody at least where it hurts after I done fucked up their name. Louise, my man Will Smith went on to the Daily Show with Trevor Noah, and he talked about the actual slap with Chris Rock. Um, it's such. That's so funny, bruh. Yeah, man. I think I've stated this to y'all, man. I think that it was a lost opportunity for the meme to not come out or the gift to come out where they played fucking From the South, which is a Will Smith song. It's about him fucking hitting somebody so hard. And nobody yeah, and nobody remember. You see, that shows you how much he's not one of the goats of rap right there. Is that a person that you know, oh shit, Will Smith has a song about hitting somebody so hard and slapping the taste out of somebody's mouth even with an uppercut. So, but he essentially goes on to say about that it was bottle up rage. Nobody knows what a person is going through, and he didn't understand what he was going through. Trevor Noah also stated that he knew that it was not Will Smith going up there. It was just something else that kind of just triggered, and he know that he's not that person. Internal lie.
Will
Whoa.
Smith going up there. He's not that guy. Yes, the F he is.
Yes,
And he's
he
going to
is.
have to live that
He
ish
had a
down.
clone or something.
No, he totally is.
Was that
That
who
No,
his
that
that
that was
was
clone
supposed.
was?
him.
Gemini Man or something?
Man,
That's
That whole
what,
sentence does not take responsibility.
what is that? What was that little alien in that Men in Black movie? That is that whole person that is just like navigating the human being.
yeah, it's a thing, man. So, fuck you. I already all three of y'all are answering this question at the same time.
All right. So what? So what's the
So
question?
now people are saying that this is
Mhm.
now the ball in Chris Rock's court. If you're
Mm.
Chris Rock, should you retort after like hearing this statement that came out on the Daily Show?
Mhm. So I'm gonna give you what I believe is the the politically correct answer, the PR answer, the thing that's gonna get on the headlines, and then I'm gonna give you what I feel is my personal answer if I was Chris Rock, right?
Okay.
My PR politically correct answer is that yes, he should say something. He should acknowledge that Will Smith was going through something, and then me and my publicists are gonna spin it, talk about men's mental health, the struggles of being a pillar in the community, and the struggles that we go through to be successful in industries where we are not the majority, right? Where we have to work twice as hard as Ricky Bobby, who just happens to be real pretty and might know somebody,
Mhm.
right? That's my PR answer. Only because I do not enjoy the thought of ever going to prison. My thought is that as Chris Rock, I would not say anything. Fuck him. It was a joke. That he could not separate himself from the moment and let his emotions gain control of it and put hands on me, and I did not return hands. I think silence speaks louder in this aspect. But I would just say, don't say nothing. Let it just sit there, because he what I didn't know who I was. I was going through some things. Like everybody goes through things. Like, what makes you special? Like, get out of here. No, I don't think Chris Rock should say anything. I don't think the ball is in his court at all. At the end of the day, we all know that Will Smith, regardless of what happens here, he's still gonna come out on top. Because you're gonna tell me that people aren't gonna go see a Will Smith movie when it comes out? You tell me he's still not gonna be a leading actor when he comes out?
So, I mean, he does have his movie coming out, which is Emancipation is supposed to be coming out.
Emancipation.
Yeah, it's supposed to be coming out. And
$14 a month on Apple
No for
TV, my
me.
guys.
yeah,
No, thank you.
No for me, bro. I'm tired of all these slave movies and movies that are depressed are about depressing subjects. Nope.
think about this,
Nope.
man. He's had almost a 40-year
Here's
career. He's almost had a
Mhm.
40-year career,
Mhm.
and he's now doing his first movie as a slave. Like almost every fucking like notable black character has done a movie like this already, and he's always stood on a
iconic slave role.
huh. Which is
Said, where's my iconic? If you've ever seen the Eric Andre show, you know that where Lance Reddick from The Wire
yeah,
came out said, "I wish I was a Bob Burton. Where's my iconic slave role?"
bro. Every fucking body, bro, have done a slave role in some kind of way. So that's is a pretty
I
fucking big
say
thing.
fuck Will Smith. If I'm Chris Rock, honestly, fuck him. Like, honestly, you ain't gonna like look. The moment has passed for Chris Rock to put hands on him. It kind of
Mhm.
hasn't because Chris Rock could shoot him or something like that, but that's not gonna happen.
I
So
mean,
look,
I don't think
you
Chris
beat
Rock is
me
gonna go
up.
that hard.
Yeah. Like yeah, you put your hands on me. I'm not gonna wish you well. I ain't gonna do none of that. Fuck you. Like when I was in first grade, 6 years old, this fifth grade nigga beat me up.
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't know where he is in life. I don't know what he's doing. I hope he is failing in life. I hope life is going terrible for him. I hope he got crabs and all types of
Mhm.
sexually transmitted infestations. I hope he's broke as shit. I don't want nothing to get that. Fuck that guy. If I'm Chris Rock, fuck Will Smith. Fuck him. Like I was going through something. I was going through my journey. Fuck
Mhm.
you and fuck your wife too. That's how I would feel. I'm an
Did you see
involved
that
human.
picture of them looking like a super villain family
Oh,
from
mad
Cyberpunk?
evil. Mad evil.
That shit was crazy. was absolutely crazy. Like y'all don't even shoot for a sense of normalcy, do you? And I think the worst part is because they are public about their issues and affairs. It's like for some reason people think that's a pattern that we need to take after. That is absolutely wrong. We do not. We do not need to follow in these people's footsteps.
No, there's no
Look,
reason to live in
I've
glass
never been.
houses.
Look, I've never been married. Uh, that's a journey that both history and JT can go through. Louise, are you married or okay?
Nah,
I've
man,
never been. Look,
I'm
all,
a
all
single
I'm
Pringle as
say,
it gets.
I'm gonna say this.
Now, ladies.
I don't need to
No.
be. I don't need to be married that bad or be with the person that bad to go through all the shit that Will and
Hmm.
JT go through. Divorce is an option. Separation is an option. If it's healthier for you to be apart from a person, that is an option. Like there shouldn't be no nobility in staying
Hmm.
in an unhealthy relationship that
Hmm.
makes you miserable.
Hmm.
That clearly gives you problems. What's the name? Tia Mowry and her husband, they're divorcing. And they're like they seemingly like, hey, look, we had our time together, we're separating, and we're gonna go and live our life peacefully. And then
I'll be
some people
careful
like,
with that
oh,
because
so
this
what
is
happened to
because it sounds like she fucking
like,
just
nah,
dropped
man.
his ass. It just seemed like
I mean,
at least it sounded like that.
she got that sister money, so she can afford to. She can level up.
Look,
She,
I'm just gonna say it like this: Will Smith has 4 projects, 3 more projects after Emancipation comes out, right? He's got The Council, Fast and Loose, and Bad Boys 4.
Jesus Christ.
fuck.
Like, he's fine. He's gonna be fine.
Yeah,
So
Bad Boys for Life is
I'm
the
gonna ask
highest
one more
was the
question.
highest grossing movie of 2020.
I'm gonna ask a question, and to be
Mhm.
completely honest, I'm really done talking about Will Smith. But I'm gonna ask you this
Yes.
question: do you think that Will
Mhm.
Smith's career was affected negatively by this slap? Because it don't
No,
seem like it.
because it wasn't.
No, it
It
really
wasn't.
wasn't. Like he got rewarded. He ain't got to go to the Oscars for 10 years. He can still win them. He ain't got to go to the ceremonies.
How
That
you
ain't
gonna
no
be eligible?
punishment.
Mm, mm,
Ain't no punishment. Like you ain't got to show up. Will.
mm.
Nah, I don't think he's
I'm a
been
correct.
adversely affected by this.
I'm gonna say yeah. I'm gonna say yes. The only reason why I think yes is because of the fact that the facade has completely been lifted. The enigma, even I know that Will Smith went on the interview, co-figure on a Daily Show, talking about like how he used to believe in the making the enigma of like the mystery of the actor, right? And then he
Mhm.
started doing these whole YouTube videos and everything like that, where he's doing and experiencing his life. But
Mhm.
I want to double down and say that that was an enigma as well. And I think that like when we actually saw him walk up there, we saw his true self. I think the part that
Yes.
where people are defending is the enigma. It's kind of the same way as like where people defend the Michael Jackson or the R. Kelly or the Bill Cosby
Mhm.
shit situations that they
Whoa,
happened.
whoa.
The nigga did it,
It's
dog. I'm
one of
sorry.
these
Let's
things is
not get
not
out of
like
hand.
the other.
Let's not go that far.
Well, what I mean,
I will say this
well,
history.
go ahead.
No, all right, keep going.
What I mean by
No,
that
I
is
was
the
gonna
fact.
say
Go
that.
ahead.
No, what I was gonna say is that even though that facade, the old Will Smith facade happened, the thing that happens with a lot of black celebrities is we, the black community, we rally around them. So it gets even more reinforced. So Will Smith, we ain't canceling Will Smith. We sticking by him and all of that, even though what he did was clearly in the wrong. So I don't think it necessarily affects him that much, to be quite honest with
But
you.
that's what I mean.
And white people are fickle.
That's
White
what I
people are
mean.
fickle. They'll forget.
That's what I'm meaning is the fact of like uh R. Kelly, like the Boondocks did a really good example, right? The trial of R. Kelly
Mhm.
was like, take the bad camera away, get him some counseling. But everybody was in the fucking courtroom trying to dance and shit to his music, even though he was in court for pissing on a young girl. And we've
Mhm.
reinforced that, you know what I mean? T Pain even played the fucking song in the middle of a verses during the middle of COVID. You know, it's been reinforced even though like that situation happened, but it doesn't
Mhm.
mean that like it doesn't have a negative connotation to it. Pirates are beloved, But yet and still, those motherfuckers are nothing but murderers and fucking robbers. And
Trump.
we
Yeah.
love fucking Jack Sparrow ass. You know what I mean? So it
Mhm.
doesn't change the fact of like we have a negative connotation of it.
Jack
It's just the fact
Sparrow.
that we praise the anti-hero.
Mhm.
So
And it's not even, I don't even believe that it's the praising of the anti-hero. It's the love and endearment that you have to the story and to the character that people are willing to die
Mhm.
on those hills for.
yeah.
Right? Like we love pirates. Yeah, we love pirates because we like the idea of like not being responsible for shit and just getting on a boat and sailing and getting drunk and getting in fights. But like we don't realize that like fuck, dude, you got like scurvy and you got a blister and they had to chop off your fucking leg and
I
you were
Flag Means
hunted down.
Death. If you need to get a chance, go see
You
Our
know,
Flag Means Death. That is a fucking great, like, satirical version
funny.
of explaining what a
Mhm.
pirate
It's
life
funny.
is and like having the privilege and then wanting to
right?
go be a pirate. Go ahead, finish what
Then
you
go
were
be
saying.
a pirate. And then like this thing with Will Smith, as I mentioned, he's got 3 more projects coming up. The only thing that people are like, this is his redemption tour. He's not promoting emancipation. He's doing his redemption tour so that the character of Will Smith as we know it and as we learn to accept it can continue to sell movie tickets. Can
Correct.
continue to afford that supervillain photo op that he just fucking had.
Gotcha. I gotta see this photo, man. Y'all gotta put that picture up for me because I don't know which photo you're talking about.
Hold up.
But all right, so we're not gonna take too much longer. I gotta ask one more question, and we're gonna move on to Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas. Or do y'all want to do Muppets? Which one do y'all want to do first?
Wait, who among us has seen the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special? I have.
I've seen it.
I have not
Not
seen
yet.
it. Not yet.
All right, so we're gonna
I've
do
heard
just
enough about it, but I have not seen it.
Cool. Let's do Guardians on a different day. Let's do Guardians on a different day, and let's do Muppets today. Just for the Muppets. So, but my last question is this: Dwayne Wade is fighting with his ex-wife right now over the gender swap as well as also the name change of their daughter Zaya. The mom is basically saying that we should not change the actual gender. Dwayne Wade saying that he's actually doing it right now because eventually it's going to happen. Zaya is, I think, 16 now at this point in time. It's going to happen in 2 years, no matter what. Zaya gets to choose, so you might as well just do it right now while you got a chance. And I think at this point in time, Zaya is almost out on the road to being into fashion anyway. Am I correct, Jamel? Do you remember, or JT? I would think.
I have no idea.
I think that she's being
I
fast tracked to being her own brand at this point in time. It's looking like that. She's being her own brand. So Dwayne Wade is saying like I'm kind of just already setting up our daughter for success, whereas the mom is saying no, it's too early. So Jamel, I'm gonna go with this question for you, and then JT, this next question is gonna be for this question is gonna be yours as well. If you are this is from a single aspect of it. This is definitely a good question now because effective like we got 2 single guys and we got 2 married guys. So yes, let's go. And we got
Okay.
all right. So as a single man, you hear this story about this man who has a daughter who's trans and is going basically like full ham and hard in the paint when it comes to like doubling down on it being trans, right? Got an actual trans boyfriend as well. So this Dwayne Wade's kid at this point in time is a male to female, and the Zaya's boyfriend is a female to male. And now they want to do a gender name change. How would you gender and name change?
Heterosexuality with extra steps.
It's a dangerous game for me. I don't.
No, dude, this is I
Let's
say
go
what I
with the
say.
question.
We
See.
go. Don't avoid the question. How?
You
What
gotta
is your
answer first.
what is your first initial response to this storyline?
Why do I care?
Yes.
Genuinely, I don't care. That is like, to be quite honest with you, I
Why do we
don't
care?
give a shit because I'm not Zion Wade, I'm Dwayne Wade, I ain't the former Mrs. X Dwayne Wade,
Hmm.
I ain't none of these people. I am Jamel living here in
Hmm.
Arizona. None of this affects me in any way, shape, or form. That's
Yep.
honestly a lot of these issues that trans people go. How the fuck does it affect you? It
Hmm.
doesn't. Why do you care what these people is doing with their life? Move the
Right.
fuck on. Now, is it a matter of, hey, should we be doing this all in public? Uh, well, I don't care. Again,
I
I
don't
don't
even care
care.
that they're doing it in
Why,
public.
why are people like, stop being so focused on it? Like,
Hmm.
that is between Zaya, her father, her
Hmm.
mother. That is on them. Now, let me say this: if you one of these people out here who just like, oh, watching this is gonna make my son gay, well, I got tough news for you, Trevor. Your son was gonna be gay. Your son was going towards the peen anyway. Like, I'm gonna be quite honest with you.
God
I'm
damn.
gonna be honest with you. Your daughter, she was gonna munch on tacos regardless of what you do. Ain't
Hmm.
no movie that's gonna make your kid gay. Ain't no television show. Ain't no celebrity that's gonna. Your kid was gonna be what they was gonna be. I. This is not a me. This is not a me centric story. This doesn't
Yeah.
affect. Is Zaya Wade getting a like changing her gender identity? Is that gonna raise taxes everywhere? Is that going to like take away rights? Is that gonna recriminalize marijuana? No, doesn't affect me at all. Let her live her life. Let them rich ass people figure out that problem. Let them settle their
Hmm.
issues. It don't affect none of the people in this square. It literally
Cheers.
does not. It
It doesn't even.
it
It
just
guarantee you, it doesn't even affect the people listening to this.
honestly, like, it doesn't. It does
It
not.
doesn't.
This
So
shouldn't
so
be
I'm
an
gonna
issue
I'm gonna hop
with
in and get
society.
philosophical for two
All right.
seconds.
Yeah, I'm about to say
So
because
in
this is
theory,
Go right ahead.
Hit with
in
it.
theory, look, when you say it doesn't matter, here's the problem. Now it's
Mm.
on your radar. You can't unring that bell. You're
Of
always
course.
gonna know this stupid fact about Dwayne Wade, who's a rather excellent basketball player.
Hmm.
You're always gonna know this crap about his kid.
Right.
Ultimately, I feel like as a father, you would feel like you failed if your son, the same brand of human as you,
Hmm.
was like, I don't want to be like you, Dad. That would probably make you feel a certain type of way. But there's people, I don't understand these people coddling folks. Instead of being like,
Hmm.
you're going to grow up to be a strong young man, they're going to be like, you can grow up to be whoever you want. No, you're my son. And there's a couple of things that you're going to be regardless just because you're a Thompson. You know what I'm saying? So as a father, it's your job to give an identity to that child.
Hmm.
And I don't know, maybe he was on the road too much winning these championships. Was it worth it? Hmm, Not my problem.
I fuck. Um, I disagree,
How do you
JT.
follow that?
I disagree, JT.
Of course you do.
I disagree. I
You
think that
softy.
I'm not salty. I think that like
Soft,
it.
soft F.
Oh, SAWFT.
Like soft serve. Yeah.
So
Soft.
O F
damn.
No,
T like
SAWFTY.
software.
That's softy.
Yes.
Softy.
With the
Softy.
quiet yeah.
Yeah, it's Jamel gets that joke. The softy. You're soft. SAWFT soft. Uh
That took me back to something I don't want to go back to.
but I disagree. I think that like even if he was on the road, I obviously yes, I get it. I think it still has your kid's identity, even if the kid is going over to be trans or whatever like that. I think you still got your kid's identity. I think the identity aspect of it still can be if your kid is have a double X chromosome or XY chromosome. My daughter is more like me. I'm not gonna still gonna change the fact of like you mean that shit. You mean she still likes fucking. She likes basketball. She likes fucking like video games. She likes shooters. She like Mortal Kombat. She like that.
Hmm.
If I ask my son to play Mortal Kombat, bro, my man's will be like, nah, homie, this is not a thing. My son still sleeps with some fucking stuffed animals, and I support him on it, dog. My daughter does too. But I don't think that
Hmm.
it takes away the identity. I think the aspect of what identity is when it comes to that, I I think it's kind of scared in more than anything. but I
It's
do
kind of
agree.
scared or skewed.
Skewed. I'm gonna say scared.
You say it ain't scared.
Scared.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
kind of scared. Don't be scared.
Yeah, don't be scared. I want to say skewed, but I'm gonna say scared. I'm saying scared. I'm saying that people are scared of the fact of like what it means to be identified as yourself as a person. I think that like obviously I just made a joke about like Luis earlier with Luis Guzman, right? And like even though I'm joking, right? And I mean that. Like Luis understands that he's not fucking Luis Guzman, right? I'm
I
telling
understand that you're racist as shit.
you, how am I racist
They
against
don't
you?
all look alike. History.
Don't all look alike.
I hate you. I hate you. I hate you because you're fat and
And
you're
the, and,
attacking. I
and the racism keeps coming out.
Bro, you know who my wife is,
Wow.
right? Right.
No, well, why would I know who your wife is?
Oh man, that's a
Time
good
out.
point.
Because you all
That
know each
don't-
other,
They
right?
don't
I
make
just
no
met you.
assumptions. They don't make no assumptions.
Yeah.
That's my point.
Wow.
They don't
And-
make no assumptions. Do you
Wow.
know what my wife is? Do you know what I sleep with every night?
Wow.
No. Then shut your little ass up.
You
Does
got
she
plenty
look?
of black friends.
Does she look like me?
She is a brown person like you.
This is
dog.
real.
And she's for the little. And she's for the
History.
land of little people.
Much less beer.
History. Wow.
Yeah.
So
God
not
damn.
only did you
History,
say
I'm
that we all look the same, then you called your wife a man because I identified as a man, and then you called us vertically challenged.
She is, bro. I swear to
You
God.
over here
She's
making
short.
She's
making
my
us look like we
shorty.
don't run the
I love
Munchkin
my
land.
shorty. I love my
History,
shorty.
my brother.
dog.
This is not.
I
This
don't
is
care.
not. This,
I
this
don't
is
care.
not.
I will
different.
down
This,
this
this
here.
has big.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Jamel.
This has big. I've got plenty of black friends. Energy to it. I'm just
No,
saying.
ain't no big, no
Yes.
big black. It ain't
Yes.
no big. It don't have that big black energy. No,
Said
bro.
she's from
Yeah.
the land of the
My
little
man
people.
just trying to reverse racist my
I
ass.
lo-
dog.
I
Fuck
love
that.
I love Latinos because I go eat at Taco Bell is basically what this conversation
You the
is.
first Mexican to say
Wow.
nigga on Call of Duty, ain't you? So don't you
No.
stop it. Don't you stop it.
Sometimes-
Then don't
Hell
come at me
no.
about
Wow.
this then.
You are
Don't you just-
projecting.
no.
I'm sorry.
Friend is projecting.
Sorry, I can tell my friends apart.
I can tell you apart too. I was just saying the
I just
reason
wanna
why I
say,
say Luis
I
is because
consider
the fact that that's
myself
how I
an
learned
ally
it.
of the
It
Latino
was not a
community,
bad thing.
because
I have two
one of
people
us is
here.
problematic.
I have two people here as witnesses that
Go
can
ahead.
say that you've told me I was Luis Guzman multiple times.
I said initially, okay, I will replay this. I'm going to cut this fucking clip.
This is on
I
record, dog.
initially
You
said-
cut.
I don't
cut.
care. I
You
will
gonna have
cut.
to go
I will,
through
I
this.
will,
You better
I will
keep a
cut
tally
this.
mark.
I will cut this video
Ladies
for you.
and
Go
gentlemen
ahead.
and people of this land,
Go ahead. Go ahead. Do your thing.
you are witnessing history.
Yes,
Squash
right here.
free speech and edit the truth. You cannot rely on anything that goes on this podcast anymore. It's all a lie.
You gonna cut all that out. That's the worst part.
That's
No,
the worst
not
part.
the
This
worst
is
part.
this
I
this
stand
is
by what I say. I stand by what
That
I
will
say.
never see
I
the light of
initially
day.
told him. I said, Luis, y'all look.
we're gonna have to go underground. This is gonna be the underground version of InfoWars, but like
You
not
gotta
shitty.
subscribe to the Patreon if you want to
Exactly.
get all this uncut.
The unedited version.
Controversy where there's none, dog. I'm just throwing it out there, bro. I'm just throwing it out there. You make
So anyway,
That
Muppets
is
Christmas
controversy.
Carol.
The controversial thing is how y'all say his name.
He said Luis. That's his name. I said
Right,
it initially, and
right.
then you were like Lewis. I was like Luis.
No,
great
I
movie.
no,
did say that. And I said it's,
No,
it's the same
no,
way as
no.
my
It
man
really
Luis
is.
Guzman.
no.
It's
No,
Luis.
look.
It's not
look.
Luis Guzman.
Michael Caine is fantastic in that
Michael
movie.
Caine is great in that movie.
Man, fuck Michael Caine. It is.
Yeah.
It is actually.
Yeah, we are. I'm trying to
JT's
pivot
the
us
same color.
to
Speaking of racism, let's talk about the
I'm
Christmas
trying to pivot
Carol.
us to
Let's talk about. Speaking of racism, let's talk about fucking Dickens. The fucking most renowned fucking writers who is coincidentally
This
racist.
is all on you.
I know you're keeping us on track. I don't know why he's distracted so much.
Oh,
I'm
man.
trying.
No,
I know
man.
you work
History
hard.
is derailing us.
Nah, man.
Mhm.
We
Yeah.
got time now. Shit. Fuck. We ain't even talking about Guardians of the Galaxy anymore. Fuck it. Okay, hold
I
on.
mean,
Once
we're
the half
not.
of us didn't watch it, is it worth a watch?
It is
Yeah,
such
I say it's worth a watch.
it is a Christmas spiritual, yes. It is a mood. It's a different way of
I
kind
like
of
the way you said that.
it is definitely a Christmas spiritual, yeah. I have words.
I have words.
I have words.
But are they the right words?
They
I
are
don't know.
they're the correct translation sometimes.
That's
I would
sad
say
before
I
we
would
make
say
any money.
it is. I'm not saying that it's the most unique, but I would definitely say that it's definitely a better approach to it. To a lot of other fucking Christmas movies out there. It's basically a movie trying to explain what Christmas is to a bunch of things that not are from Earth, and how we supposed to celebrate it. What's the purpose of it? Of the actual
Okay.
thing.
Is it animated or did
It
they
starts
get the
off
gang back
animated.
together?
Oh, it's
Yeah, of
it's
course.
the actors.
It's live. It's
There's
live
only
acted.
2 parts that are animated that are actually really good in the movie that actually add to it.
I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah, it's
I was
not
gonna check it out
bad.
anyways.
It's only
It's
45
only a half
minutes.
hour, right?
Also,
45
since
minutes.
we do have
Oh,
time,
half hour.
guys, we've had a stream of trailers coming. So we've
Mm.
today just trailers for Transformers. I don't know the official name,
Mm.
but it's Beast Wars with the Beast
Beast
Wars. We
Wars?
got
Hells yes!
we got a new Mario trailer, Super Mario movie,
Speaking of
and
Guardians,
low key, I'm kind of excited about that movie.
Same.
We got the new Cocaine Bear, which comes out in February, which is the movie I am most looking forward to because it's a bear on cocaine that
Did
goes
not
on a killing spree,
did
and
not know
it's
that was a
based
thing.
on
I'm
a
here
true
for it.
story. And
We need to
Based.
Guardians Volume 3 just dropped their first teaser trailer. And
Mm-hmm.
I gotta
It looks
say, I'm
good.
not used to Buff. Buff Groot is gonna be something it's gonna take me a while to get used to.
Why? Why? It's just
I
Dominic
don't like
Toretto.
no, like that. Yeah, it's weird. I want movie one. He was tall, lanky, and looked like Groot. I don't. You know, Baby Groot was cool. Teenage emo Groot and other movies was cool. Jacked up, horny, hormonal teenager Groot. Not really. Not really
He
feeling
looked
it.
he looked like in the comics, he looks like a giant wooden demon. He's got all the sick like tree spines coming out of him and all that. Like jacked fucking I hit the gym Groot like looks legit.
can I tell you
I'd
something?
rather hang out with that guy
Hey,
than the demon looking one from the comic books.
hey, Louise, can I tell you something, bro?
What's up?
You're my muse right now. You're doing it right now, bro. You're doing it for me. I love how much like chaotic you're just fucking saying some just a couple of things. It's just it's making sense, but
So
it's also
now,
just fucking up everything for me.
It's the sugar
anyway,
on my cornflakes.
Yes, you're the sugar of my coffee.
Sugar on my cornflakes. Let's go.
The macaroni for
I
my cheese.
think we are now ready to head into the larger portion of the movie, which the show, which is our movie review.
Yes, let's go for it, man. Let's do this.
Oh yeah.
All right. So this week we are beginning our trek through some Christmas classics. Myself, JT, and History, we each picked a movie this year to kind of talk about, to go over, to discuss. And JT's movie is up first, and I'm gonna let JT carry the bulk of this. Or JT, would you prefer me to kind of deal and dash the questions and stuff like we've been doing in recent
Well, I
weeks? How would
mean,
you
yeah,
prefer me
however
to go
you
first?
I like that. I like the second one. Because I
All
honestly
right,
you
so
watched
really,
when I want to ask you a
really
question.
quickly.
To start off,
Okay,
quick question. When is the first time you watched A Muppet's Christmas Carol?
it had to be when I was a kid. It had to be sometime in the late '90s
So it came out in
because this movie came
'92.
out. Yeah, it came out a year after I was born.
So you're probably thinking like what, 96, 97?
Yeah,
Like the real
90,
time you ever
around
saw this?
96, 97. Yeah, yeah. This
I
is
grew
one
up
of
on.
those that we always have in school. VHS,
Mm.
especially around Christmas. Like when the teachers didn't feel like doing no work, pop this in. Watch this, and Matilda and Space Jam on repeat.
Mm. Yeah.
Um,
I think you're muted, JT.
Yeah. What was the question?
we was answering
No,
your
No, I
you
question.
said
asked
no,
us
I
the
was
I
question.
was looking at this historical voices from the East Side thing floating around. It was very mesmerizing. And it covered you completely, so I totally lost what you were saying. I couldn't read your lips.
yeah. No, I was just saying that this is one that was in rotation when I was a kid in like first, second grade. This is around the time of the year that they will pop this on, as well as Matilda. Now that's a staple of it. But A Christmas Carol, and I think this is a good way to kind of kick things off. A A Christmas Carol is going to be 179 years old in like 2 weeks.
And it's still
I
racist.
think
Damn.
now
Charles
history.
Dickens was
Now
up.
let me
Mm.
I'm
can
sorry,
I
bro. I apologize.
can
Go
I
ahead. Go ahead.
start?
Go
Get your evil anti Anglo views, put those on the top for a minute. Anyway, Christmas Carol, written 179 years ago. It may be the most prolific and most adapted thing regarding Christmas outside of the nativity scene. Like when I think of stuff that revolves around Christmas and adaptations, it's the nativity stuff with three wise men and Jesus being born in the manger, and it's this. Like that's how much this has revolved and how much it's influenced pop culture because some of everybody has parodied or adapted this from the Muppets, which we're going to talk about in a minute, to the Looney Tunes, the Flintstones. We've seen Family Guy do it. We've seen The Simpsons do it. We've seen everybody do this. We've seen 5011 versions of this movie of this story that have come out. And the Muppets in a lot of people's regards. Oh, Luis,
Mhm.
you had a
Yeah, yeah,
question,
yeah.
or
No, I want you to continue, but I do at some point want to ask the question of like, how much of that influence is based because this story's in public domain.
that's a very fair point.
A
It
lot.
being in the
And
public
that's why more
domain,
things should be in the public domain.
yeah,
Say
like
30 to
they,
50 years sounds good.
yeah, like there's so many variants of this one
Mhm.
story
Of course.
that are different. Like the Muppets Christmas Carol is different than the Flintstones Christmas Carol. The Looney Tunes version of this is different than Family Guy's version of it. And stories being within the public domain and being able to be molded in these different ways is always a good thing.
Hmm.
But anyway, we get to the Muppets Christmas Carol, 1992. This is the first Muppet-related project that came out after the death of Jim Henson. Jim Henson died about a year before this.
Hmm.
Prolific, one no, he died in 1990. Prolific, one of the great influencers of like children's media with the Muppets, with Sesame Street, with so many other things. And this is the first project that he wasn't around to produce and oversee. Um, Stars Michael Caine as the iconic Ebenezer Scrooge.
Ebenezer
We've got
Scrooge.
all your all your favorite Muppets in different roles. We've got Kermit, he is Bob Crackett. Miss Piggy is Emily, his wife. We've got Sam the Eagle in a role. We've got everybody, pretty much everybody is out here. And of course, Gonzo is
Hmm.
Charles Dickens in the movie. For me, I find it to be the best adaptation of this story. I think because the Muppets are so ingrained in culture, I think they're able to add a lot of whimsy to it, but they also don't skim on like the actual material of the story. I find it charming. I find the story
Hmm.
itself to be really good. So since he's been piping up for a while because he wants to kind of give his viewpoint on racism, even though we spent the last few minutes with some problematic views of his own because he said that Louise's quote from the land of the short people, which oof, I've never heard that. That is some Newsmax. That is some
I thought
Newsmax
that was
language
the
right there.
Lollipop Guild.
I was gonna say follow the yellow brick road, my guy.
If you, well, no, wait. Correction on this statement, real fast, because I feel like y'all do this every single time. Y'all misunderstand what I said. My wife is the first person who usually says that she's from the land of little people. That did not come from me. That came from a Mexican woman. Okay, that Tejana woman said. So it's no, she said it. I said, yo, it did not originate from me. I said it because of the fact that that's the joke around the house. I'm the tallest person in the house. She says that she's from the land of little people. You let me have my love that my family have. Okay, I don't give a fuck what y'all say. I have my love that I have with my wife. And then also on top of that, to quote a great comedian, my man Felipe, he said that most people think that my man C3PO is actually Mexican. They're wrong. It's R2D2. His name is even in Spanish. R2D2. It's in there. He said, and then also he speaks fluent Spanish with the. I'm not lying to you. I will send you that comment. I love it. I don't give a fuck. I'm doubling down on this. So with that, I am not calling Luis from the land of the little people. I am defending my culture and I'm defending my land and my people. Luis, you're. Oh, that is true, bro. Uh, I don't
Thanks for defending. Thanks for
Uh,
defending the repairman.
care.
damn. I was. You know what? I'm not gonna mess with you on that because you are just saying a lot. Anyway,
You let me say what I need to say,
history.
dog. Let me say what I want to say.
You are
Okay.
this is no longer I said what I said. This is supposed to be the clean segment. But anyway, history. You've got some views on A Christmas Carol. What is it with your views on the story and why you're saying it's racist? Now, Charles Dickens, of course, was alive over 100 years ago, and most white people around then had a little bit of that racism in them. I mean, that you got to expect that. But
Facts.
specifically with this story, why do you think it is racist?
I think it's just racist because of the fact that the body of work that the person who created it, that's who it is. We would not sit here and watch anything from your boy. What's his name? Who was the former leader of the Ku Klux Klan? What's his name? Fuck. He was a big fucking person at the time.
David Duke.
David Duke. Yeah, we wouldn't be sitting here watching that shit. We don't watch fucking Birth of the Nation and think that that's fucking profound shit. So I just think that like we need to call shit what it is. And sit there and have a character like Gonzo to sit there and be like, oh, Charles Dickens. I mean, you're automatically titling it to that person. But then also the fact of like he was diminishing to Rizzo, the rat, the whole time, you know what I mean? Yeah, Rizzo was eating food, but the whole part was that Charles Dickens was this one part. Charles Dickens did believe that um he believed that classism was like wrong. That's not the right way to go. And he supported people who were supposed to be low income. And so for him to be diminishing to Charles Dickens to be making fun of a person who's low income, that's kind of fucking that's kind of fucked up. And then there's other controversies behind him, but I just think that like the person itself is fucking like racist, inherently racist. I just had a hard time supporting this project itself. Not obviously we watch Walt Disney shit, and then Walt Disney shit owns Marvel, right? So it's very tough, even the fucking tough pill to swallow for that. It's a tough pill to fucking swallow to know that I bought a bunch of Adidas stuff and didn't even know that it was owned by fucking originally started by a guy who supported the Nazi party. So it's the history, the person who created it is inherently racist, and it makes it very tough to be able to actually know that this product is shared and loved so much.
So
So go ahead, Luis.
so I want to pose a question to you because this is actually a very interesting thing, and it ties to the R. Kelly thing. It ties to this conversation. It ties um to a lot of things. Of the Christmas Carol is a great story. It's obviously a great story because it's survived the test of time. It's been adapted a bajillion different ways. With the Muppets Christmas Carol being literally the best. We're in agreement there. But the question is, at what point do you separate art from the faults of the artist? Like, let's take for example, maybe something not as provocative as uh, the potential racist habits of Charles Dickens, right? Because of the time of the age that he was. Right. Let's take um, like Kurt Cobain and Nirvana. The dude killed himself, right? That's suicide. Do we diminish his art because he took his own life, or does that make his art better? Right? At what point do we just appreciate the art versus the artist?
Um,
For
go
me,
ahead.
they got to be dead for a while. That's my opinion. Like they gotta be dead for a while. Like Charles Dickens can't hurt me no more because he's been dead for a while and he's not even maggot food. He's dust.
Mhm.
I think the further away you get from that person's actual being able to profit off of their material, that
Mhm.
also helps. I think that's why there's people nowadays who are going through this with Harry Potter and the views
Yeah.
that J.K. Rowling has been expressing.
Mhm.
A lot of people that I know who are big Harry Potter fans can't really are having a hard time associated with it because she has espoused some views, some very hurtful views and transphobic views. And so I think death, death is the thing that, in my opinion, makes it a lot easier to tolerate some of
Mhm.
this stuff, even though it's fucked up. But that's just how I feel.
So you're telling
The
me that
further
you
away
you
you get
you,
from
you wouldn't consume any kind of Harry Potter media until J.K. Rowling dies?
I mean, I've watched it. I'm not attached to it like other people are. So,
Mhm.
and it also depends on how attached you are to the material. But for
Right.
me, death kind of helps in some of these cases. JT?
So I really like the question, Luis. Let's say in the case of one of the football players, the one that done knocked out that girl in the elevator. Can't remember which one that
Ray
was,
Rice.
but
Ray Rice.
I was
yeah,
gonna say
Ray
you have
Rice.
multiples of them.
Fuck.
Let's not even get started on the police, but
All
still,
right, let's go.
Luis, you are
Ray Rice.
officially part
So
of historical voices.
Ray Rice knocked the shit out of his woman in an
Mhm.
elevator, like straight up uppercut the broad. She was
Mhm.
down,
Mhm.
crazy, right? Does that make him a worse football player? The answer is no. Kanye West is on InfoWars. Does that make him a worse artist? The answer is yes.
Yes.
So when you talk, especially when you talk about people who kill themselves, I become disinterested because whatever you were singing about obviously wasn't enough for you to keep pursuing if that's what you did. So I don't listen to Triple Extension or Juice World like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying
Mhm.
to get depressed listening to these Negroes. Nah,
Ooh.
man, I was at a restaurant in Pittsburgh one time, and I was like, "Who is playing this music? Y'all need to stop. I need a Xanax before I leave this mug." And they laughed and put the game on. You know what I'm saying? Like, just
Yeah.
turn this shit off. But when you need to separate, and so Miriam actually made a good point. She was like, with Charles Dickens, who was a product of his time. And I don't think racism is the right word so much as prejudice. You ain't met these
Yeah.
people, but you've already judged them. So you have prejudices of the time. Racism, it requires a structure to operate. Remember this. It's very important for life. But
Mhm.
if Charles Dickens had been a pedophile, she was like, I wouldn't mess with it no more. I wouldn't even watch the Christmas Carol or read the books or whatever like that. So it depends on what the person did, but especially an artist. If the artist killed himself, that's the only reason why half of these people got on the map is because they died. Let's be honest. So when somebody dies, all of a sudden we start going through their whole catalog and stuff. I was on
Mhm.
Nipsey Hussle way before he got gunned down, but a whole bunch of other people came to it, and now I'm hearing Double Up everywhere, and I love it. You know what I'm saying? So it really depends on what happened, and it depends on what the artist is in. If the artist is an athlete, then it looks a whole lot different. Because all of a sudden, if it's an athlete, they want to act like you can't be an athlete even though you're a piece of shit.
I
You
mean, did we
can.
say shit about Michael Vick?
I don't think Michael Vick was a piece of shit for dogfighting. Dogfighting has been going on for a long time. How they handled him was absolutely raggedy too. But you fight some chickens, and all of a sudden that's okay, huh? If he would have just been cockfighting in there, it would have been all right. Really?
Yeah, I the manner in which Vic was handling them dogs, that's what kind of got me when some of them details was coming out. It like dog fighting itself is fucked up. Like,
Mhm.
I'm against all that shit. I hate bull fighting. That shit should be illegal. Like I think if you're gonna fight the bull and the bull win, the bull get the lid. They kill the bull when the bull win the fight, which is bullshit. Like, nah, it was a
Right.
fight. I won. Let
Well,
the bull live. But cockfighting,
right.
all this shit where it's like basically animal cruelty and you taking all these extra steps to get this dead animal. I'm against that. Eat
Yeah.
meat. I ain't trying to have these animals. Like if they're gonna fight, let them fight in nature. But it was the way that he was doing some of that shit with the dogs. Like this nigga was like drowning them and like electrocuting them. Like that was too far away with that. And I do think on the flip side of that, with how people reacted to him, some of those people were Okay, you took it from just you're angry about the animals to you angry at this black man. And that's how like you always gotta like with the Kyrie Irving thing, I'm always be on the lookout for. All right, when is it gonna turn from I'm angry about the issue into I'm angry at the black dude? But history, what do you think on Louise's question? Like how long or do you have the ability to separate an art from the artist that created it?
Well, I got a question for JT. Do you like Jumanji?
Take it or leave it. Let's be honest.
Flubber?
I like Robin Williams.
Yes.
And
He killed himself.
now I need you to understand. Hold on, but let's talk about why. Robin Williams had a degenerative disease that was undetected.
But he killed
It
himself.
literally ate his brain away.
But
So
he
I
killed
need you to
himself.
understand that he killed himself because of other reasons. He wasn't just a depressed person. His brain attacked itself.
But he killed himself.
Basically, is what happened. So that yeah, and I read the whole thing from his wife talking about what happened and you know the foundation that she is donating to
Mhm.
basically like make sure this never happens to anybody else. What happened to Robin Williams was a tragedy.
He killed himself.
Whenever somebody kills himself is a tragedy. But the real tragedy was what happened to Robin Williams to make him kill himself. He was not able to fight it because it was inside his own body. The call was coming from in the house.
So how is that not
You
the
know what
same
I'm
for
saying?
a person like Coker Cobain
But you talk
who went through something mentally, and that's sometimes that voice
because
you can't
he
stop
went
that.
through
That's not
something mentally, but it wasn't a disease. He
that
was
is a
depressed, and
disease.
he let the darkness take him over.
That is a
Robin
disease.
Williams had darkness creeping in inside of his organs.
That's
He
depression.
didn't have a chance.
That's depression. That's
That's
anxiety. That's a lot of things. That's giving the past to something else.
It's
So
different. No, it's
no, it's
different
not
because
different.
there was a disease associated with it, not a condition. The condition is, depression or whatever else. There was a disease associated with Robin Williams. So your question is
Depression is a
slightly
disease,
flawed.
though. No,
Depression is a condition.
your
You can
initial
treat it like a
analysis
disease, yes.
is no, depression is an actual disease. It's a disease. It's a thing that people have a hard time fighting for. You mean to tell me that, like, seriously, a person walks out and be like, "Man, I went to see a therapist for like a week. I'm cured of my goddamn my depression." That's not a fucking thing. We wouldn't be if depression wasn't such a issue, then we wouldn't be fighting for example, certain things like equal rights. We wouldn't be fighting for things like equal pay. We wouldn't be fighting for those things because depression is a pressure. It's a problem. It's a thing that actually continuously actually puts a person down to a point where they do go to dark spaces. No matter what, you
Depression is a
cannot.
status effect. That's what I'm getting at.
It's not a
It's
status
a
effect.
status
It's a
effect.
it's a thing
Yeah.
that bothers you that you cannot just instantly cure. That's a thing that just happens. It's as it's a thing that's been affected almost like a cancer to a person. And yes, cancer can be go into remission, but shit can come back as well. So depression is a fucking disease, and the mindset that a person can have and sit there and say that like, man, it's not that real. That's a false belief. That's a false equivalency. A person can make you laugh and make you have the best fucking time of your life, but be so broken on the inside. It's a common thing. It's a normal fucking thing, and it happens so many
Williams
different
was a
times.
different case, though.
But
That's what
it's
I'm
not
trying
a
to tell
different
you. He was
case.
a different case.
It's not a different case. But we agree to
Yes, it
disagree on
was.
that.
His depression was not based off of like his surroundings and him with a dissatisfaction. His depression was a brain rotting disease. That's the
Okay,
difference.
but to both your points, the end result is still the same,
He killed himself.
right? Okay. So like you're able to does that affect your love and appreciation for the medium of Robin Williams?
Yes, affect a with an A. Yes, it is impacted every time that you see him make a smile on. You wonder where that smile went, why it went away. But again,
Hmm.
Robin Williams killed himself because he had a brain eating disease, as opposed to because his girl left him like
Hmm.
triple extension or juice, one of them two.
That's
You know what I'm saying?
depression. That's what it is. It's just it's some people can't take shit, bro. Like like you think about you got to think about depression in the aspect of like we go to the gym, right? Almost think about it like that, man. If some people gonna lift 200 pounds, some people gonna only be able to do 50, and so realistically, depression just measures up differently for people, man. We the same people who will sit there and say religiously, like God won't put no more than what you can only bear, and sometimes just shit just don't feel like it's bearable. And as a person who has like seen dudes who fucking committed suicide and had guys who fucking just like off themselves right in front of try to off themselves right in front of people, bro. It's not a fucking cool situation, bro. And I cannot sit there and say that like, yeah, I look at Robin Williams and be like, yeah, I can't support that nigga because of the fact that you mean he was just depressed. And he could have just fixed this. You know, Kurt Cobain, I can't listen to him because he killed himself. I have a harder time with that, but it also goes into just like what we said earlier. Like, what did they do? I just don't think that like because a person killed himself should make us not want to consume that medium and that medium that they
So
that they
when
fell
you
into.
when you consume, since you, well, I want to talk about this Christmas Carol. Since you brought God into it, let's talk about a couple things.
Yeah,
Whoa,
you
this
know
movie,
what?
wait,
Yeah,
we can
Consumer
talk about
media.
God because this movie does heavily talk about God.
Let's
So go
let's
ahead.
go into it.
Mhm.
Look, so when you consume a
this is my
medium,
fault.
what
I
you're
got us off
doing,
track.
No,
when you
this is part
consume
of
a
it.
medium, what you are doing is you are imprinting that in your brain. All right.
Okay.
And so when you have depression, essentially what you need to do is you need to get new thoughts in your brain to become your thought process. And the thing is, sometimes your depression is made worse by things like diet, lack of exercise, isolation. You know what I'm saying? And you actually need to go
Mhm.
out and be with people and go work out and go get the blood pumping so you can renew some of these chemicals in your body.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mhm.
But another part of depression is fixing your thought process, because the depression thought process basically says whatever I'm going to do, it's not going to work.
Mhm.
Nothing is going to go well my way. It is depression and doom, and you have a gloom ahead of you, and you don't have any hope. You have
Mhm.
nothing to break that. And so when you renew your mind with the word, what you do is you find the ways that the Bible tells you to cast your cares on God. And you are able to alleviate some of that depression. And by believing in God and knowing that He got you, you are able to put one foot forward in front of the other, even when you can't see something. You know that God has got you and He's holding
Mhm.
you through it. You know what I'm saying? So, depression is something that you can come at different ways. And honestly, it's best to try to tackle them all simultaneously. If you're going to make a bunch of changes, if you're going to start working out, why wouldn't you also start eating better at the same time? If you're going to start working out, why wouldn't you get a workout buddy so you're less alone? You know what I'm saying? And somebody who can keep you accountable for your eating and your working out and your gains. You know what I'm saying? These things help. These things help. But the biggest thing you got to do is change your thoughts. If you're not getting a new source of thoughts, then you just stay in that funk. You know what I'm saying?
Dope.
How do you guys like
Um,
Michael Caine's portrayal as Ebenezer Scrooge?
dope. I'm gonna let that go. Michael Caine.
He's
This
too
is
nice.
huh?
He's too nice. I almost didn't believe he was that evil because he just looks like a sweet old man.
We already know you're biased.
But I love the way he threw that reef at that rabbit.
That was hilarious.
I rewound that so many times. Surprised the
So
VHS didn't
for
skip
me,
on that part.
honestly, like thinking about it, I think since I've seen the Dark Knight trilogy more recently, I always look at Michael Caine as Alfred. And it's like, Alfred ain't that mean. Like, why is Alfred throwing that reef at that rabbit? Why is like he could have went a little bit harder? I compare this to, and I think history and JT will appreciate this a little bit more because it's a little more culturally relevant. Danny Glover in The Color Purple as Mister. He might be one of the best asshole villains in any type of media. Like if you've seen Danny Glover in Color Purple, then you see him in something else where he's supposed to be a nice guy, it can throw you off. I think the opposite happened for me. It's like I've seen Michael Caine be a nice dude in so many other things. I can't really buy him as asshole Ebenezer Scrooge. Like it throws me off a little bit. The history.
What's up?
I don't want to exclude you from the conversation because I do like where you and JT were going with the talks of depression and the talks of, kind of the mental stuff. So one of the big aspects of this movie that I feel kind of needs to that should be hit on a little bit more. It's how classist some of this stuff is, particularly the characters of the old characters, the dead characters of Marley, Jacob and Robert Marley,
Mm-hmm.
Roger, whatever the hell his name is,
Hmm.
Scrooge, and their relationship to the people that work for them. Do you feel that is redeeming an old school capitalist mindset? Because it shows that hey, this super rich person, he had this, he had some bad stuff happen to him. He had his fiance leave him, and that's what turned him selfish. And now we have to look at him and that's why he's this asshole instead of he's kind of always been this way. How do you feel the journey and the arc that Scrooge was handled throughout the story, not just in the Muppets, but in Christmas Carol in general?
The movie itself was this is the reason why we have modern Christmas the way it is today. And so I do think that like the idea of capitalism is still there even at the very end. You see the people like they're not happy. Like this movie wasn't a movie that I feel like, at least from the Muppets perception, this is a movie is about a man who can't take being roasted at three different parties. That's that's what this fucking felt like. This dude got roasted at three different parties. He got
You're being
roasted
too
by
mean to me.
yeah. He got roasted by his fucking uncle. I mean, his uncle, his nephew, and his wife. He got roasted by his co-worker's wife. He got roasted at his fucking grave. The people who when he died, people were robbing his house and selling it to like this fucking crackhead spider in the middle of the fucking back alley. Like this movie is about a dude. Go ahead.
Point of point of correction, it's the 1800s, so it would have been an opium den.
Opiate
Continue.
spider. Yeah, yeah. Well, no, they had cocaine during the 1800s, right? Because that's Sigmund Freud time too.
They didn't have crack.
Yeah, they didn't have crack.
You got to
They had
correct that.
cocaine.
They
They
didn't
had
have crack.
Snuff.
they had snuff. Okay, gotcha. So this is a man that just this is a movie about a
It's the
man
joyous power.
who just did not know how. This is the first movie that taught people how to throw a perfectly good roast without making a man just like be like, I'm fucking done with everything in life after this. He just got roasted, dog, the whole time. But they weren't
All
cool
right.
with him. They didn't fuck with him until he started throwing his money around. They wasn't fucking with him until he came out and because like one of the things that they said at the very beginning of the movie, Kermit said, I'm sorry, well, yeah, Kermit said, but Mr. Scrooge, like, there's no place to do business. So why would you be open on this day anyway? And so, but
There's no one to do business with on Christmas.
yeah, so why would you? He wakes up the next morning and he tells everybody, "Yo, open up this one shop for the biggest turkey that they got in the window. Buy all the Christmas decorations from this other place." And those people weren't happy and hollering at Scrooge until he decided that like, man, I'm gonna sling this money around. And everybody was cool with him when he slung that fucking money around. Nobody was asking him to stay at the party at his nephew's place. And the only place that he hung out with was a good father figure was when he was fucking with Tiny Tim family and stuff like that. Miss Piggy was about to give him these hands, which by the way, I feel like Scrooge didn't learn his lesson as well. Because like he went over that, knocked on the door, and the first thing he did was turn into old Scrooge to make a joke so that he can be able to show this new Scrooge. And Miss Piggy was about to give this man these hands. But as soon as he said, I'm gonna
Straight
give
up
you
that word.
Huh?
Straight up.
Yeah, she was about
Slam
to,
Kermit up on.
yeah, she was about to give this man these hands, but
Oh, coming.
but she shut the fuck up quick when he got that when he was like, all right, I'm gonna sling that money around. So I just feel like it still showed the capitalism. It showed that you can get away with shit when you're rich. Just got to throw money.
All
around.
right. So Louise,
Not wrong.
off of that's a fair point. Louise, off of
Mhm.
that point, what did you think of the songs that we got throughout the movie? Because we got quite a few musical notes throughout the song. We got the song that was centered on Ebenezer Scrooge when he was coming through the town acting like an asshole. We got the song at the Christmas party in the past that they were jamming at. What did you think of the musical selections that we got in this one?
So, seeing this movie, right? back in like 96, 97, right? And then most recently seeing the Muppets Haunted House version. The bangers that are on this movie are way above what they should have been for this picture. Like they were go if you have a free moment, right? Go and watch the Muppets Haunted House. That
Haunted
movie,
Mansion.
Haunted Mansion, right? Because God forbid that they only have a 4-bedroom. Um, that movie's garbage. The soundtrack to that movie is also garbage, if you could call it soundtrack, because I think it's basically got like 3 songs. In this one, this movie, it has the real power of what like movies in the 90s for kids really were about, which was like it needs to be catchy, it needs to be like drive the story forward, and they put some real like melody and composition behind it. And
They
you just
tried
don't
to
see
make
that.
it sound good.
Yeah, they put the work and effort. They're like this. They knew that this movie was going to become like a, hey, every Christmas there's going to be people watching this movie, and I can't even begin like what it's what is another classic Christmas movie that people like to like watch around this time of year? What, Elf? What fucking
Mickey's
good song
Christmas
is there in that
Carol.
movie?
Home
Um,
Alone, that soundtrack bangs. This is John Williams.
Die Hard.
Hmm. Die Hard.
Yeah. Friday After Next.
I'm a big proponent of like the soundtracks to movies have been dying a slow death.
Yep. And you know whose
And
fault it is? Disney. They ain't been coming out with no bangers. They keep on making these Pixar films without no
Mhm.
songs.
yeah, like this movie had a great soundtrack. It
Wow.
reminds me of Christmas. Um, and it does everything right for me when it comes to
It,
this this entire motion picture.
JT, you actually changed up the next question that I was going to ask.
Dog,
That's a fair
Encanto's
point
the
that you
only one
brought
I
up
can think
about
of.
what is the last banger for each of you guys. What's the last like real banger Disney song that you can remember?
Bruno.
Because for me, besides like the most recent one, like I love We Don't Talk About Bruno.
Coco.
The Moana stuff. The Moana stuff for me. That's what gets it.
I'm
Like
about
I
to
love
say, I think that
uh
y'all are sleeping on that shit. Because I'm about to
that's
say, because
These
I remember
movies were
Bruno.
like,
Go ahead.
but these movies were a couple years apart, and so like in the meanwhile, there was no real singing Pixar movies getting made. You got Big Hero 6 and Inside Out, and Finding Dory and stuff. They're not singing in them. They're making a movie, and I think part of the kids movie esqueness is the song. Kids love songs. If you hadn't
Mhm.
figured that out yet, they love music, and so in order to make a movie more catchy, it's a great idea to put a good song or at least a reasonably decent song in the movie because kids are gonna love it. And so, in order to make a cinematic movie or cinematic film or whatever, you
Mhm.
might drop it. But when it comes to the Muppets have been doing this singing shit for decades. So it just came in like gravy with the Muppets Christmas Carol.
Mhm.
Start the
Like
movie off when a cold wind blows, it chills you. It just that's
uh,
it's you in it immediately.
like when
y'all
you
into a conversation that me and Louise were having
Mhm.
before we got started. I mentioned how much I love Lion King, and he mentioned how much he loved Hercules. What do those two movies have in common? They have catchy songs that are earworms, and I think that is to your
also
point,
mad
JT. It's
hippo
important for
energy.
them. Yeah, like
I think
it's
that y'all
that those
also.
songs
I
that
think that y'all also forget about like. I mean, I'm gonna say a product of Disney technically is like Black Panther, right? That album was pretty fucking hard. You know what I mean? The Black Panther, the original first movie. So I mean, all the stars,
Thanks, Kendrick.
huh? But it's still
Thank you,
Okay,
it's a
Kendrick.
Black Panther soundtrack though. So it's
caveat though, right? How
not a
much
soundtrack, like actual. Oh, right
but
ahead.
how much of that soundtrack though was really like did it fit the movie?
All the stars fitted. It was like the very end of the movie. I thought that
No.
made me
Was
walk
that
out
was
like fuck.
no,
That's that
but
dope
was
shit.
that but was that song developed for the movie, or was that song developed to go at the end of the movie while the credits roll? Like when you think of a movie soundtrack, right? Let's take The Lion King, let's take Hercules, right? When you think of The Circle of Life, right? I say The Circle of Life. Immediately, what do you think? You think the
Big
animals
rock.
coming to Pride Rock, Rafiki
I
trying not
Oh,
to
man.
yeet Simba all the way across the savannah. Um, you think Hercules, like, One Last Hope. You think Phil is
Toby.
training Hercules, The Little Mermaid, uh, up, when she's all like, "I'm gonna leave my home for some white dude on a boat." She's living that Florida lifestyle.
He's
Um,
16.
and she's 16, but we're not talking about that.
And they
Those
fell in love when she
soundtracks
couldn't talk.
fit that narrative. Those soundtracks fit
Well,
that
if you're talking
story
about the orchestra aspect of
and
it, then
makes it a
yeah, that's a different
picture.
thing. Yeah, I
You
get
know,
that. But then that's
that's a
where
soundtrack
that's where most of these
in my
movies are
eyes.
going now. They have like two different types of soundtracks. So they have the one that's actually like what we hear with all the stars or Kendrick Lamar's version, but then
Mhm.
they have the actual separate one, which is the actual, I guess you would say, the um
Yeah.
the
The
filmography actual songs as well.
right
So if that's the
now,
case, I still double down on the Black Panther one because we still was singing like T'Challa Low and shit like that, and that
but how
makes
much
me
are you singing? How much are you singing that because it's Kendrick Lamar and not like
the
the
T'Challa Low song.
Philharmonic
That's
Orchestra?
the actual orchestra. Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
T'Challa Low. That's I felt that. Actually, the really good one was when they did the Tanahashi Coates actual like podcast. Used some of the songs from it, bro. As soon as like I coincidentally was getting out the car, bro, and it was at the
Mhm.
very end, and it was playing um the T'Challa Low actual song, and fuck, when I got out there, I got out the car, I actually felt like fuck, the king is coming home for the first time for the rest of the day.
Mhm.
So like it made me feel something. It made me feel excited about something.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. I think that like I don't think the Muppets did it for me when it came to like soundtracks. But at the same token, I'm talking about adult me. I think that kid me
Mhm.
definitely makes sense. But even watching this with my kids, they weren't interested in this shit. So,
But
I,
are they not interested because
You
they're
weren't
a
interested.
product of their current time? Because I mean, like you try to tell a kid to go play with the yo-yo, and they're gonna be like, "What the fuck's wrong with you? Give me my iPad."
yeah, but then that kind of means that this didn't stand the test of time, kind of like what you stated earlier. So, I
Facts.
I just think that like it felt good because of the fact that we didn't have much at that point in time to work with.
We
I
were poor.
yeah, we were definitely. So it was easy to kind of appease when you didn't have much, right? We were excited with those little 2D big pixels. You know what I mean, like eight
Hmm.
bits and stuff like that. So I would say that like I definitely think that like yes, soundtracks are dying, but I think that they're dying in the way of a phoenix dies. And so it's coming out in a different way and it's coming out in a different format, and it seems different more so than what it is. It sounds like it's a radio hit versus what it is actually. Oh,
I think
we
it's more interested in being a radio hit than being the soundtrack.
yes, that's what I'm thinking. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to make it a radio hit. But I think what makes it worse is radio is fucking dying. So that's what makes it feels like this vicious cycle of actually like this music is not sounding good or this music is not popular because we
Hmm.
heard Circle of Life or we heard some other songs, but like Burna Boy came out with a song for the Lion King movie, and when he came to America, they didn't even want to build him on the actual poster, but he made a song specifically for Lion King,
Hmm.
and you mean so. But we don't talk about that. We don't get excited about those songs or those artists because of the fact that when the last time you heard a Burna Boy song, you don't probably even know who Burna Boy is if I say that. And he's
Try to listen to Burna Boy. You gotta try. You don't just stumble across Burna Boy.
Yeah, you gotta
You gotta you
you
gotta
gotta
go search him out.
you gotta search him out, even though he's like the largest fucking African artist right now.
That's a different continent.
Yeah, so
That's the difference.
yeah, but it's a movie that he made it for. So yeah, I mean, I I stand back when my statement, and I just say that like I don't think that this movie stand the test of time, and I do think that like soundtracks have evolved and definitely become something different.
I don't know. I mean, my counterpoint to this is I think that this touches a lot of what the core, and this could be just nostalgia speaking, right? Because you know that juice is powerful. Um, it's the reason I dropped $60 on the new Pokemon game because that juice is powerful.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep, me too.
you know, it's to me it scratches all that this is Christmas. The same way with the same vengeance that Mariah Carey comes out right after Thanksgiving, like bless us, Christmas future, and then when love is found and it feels like Christmas, that medley, bangers, instant Christmas. Give
Okay.
me that hot cocoa.
Cool. Cool. I'm gonna ask you a question. Does it feel like Christmas
So,
if you don't hear Mariah Carey once, at least once that month?
No, because
Yes.
it'd be
Yes.
it'd be like spending Christmas in Arizona. No snow.
hey, that's fun.
I've,
That
I
is
have worked.
fun.
I
You
have heard that song enough times to not need to hear it again.
I feel.
And unfortunately, I was
here's
it
the
came on the radio, and I looked at my wife and I said, "All I want for Christmas is you," and then I cut it off. So
here's the thing. Just because we will never know because that song is always going to be played. Whether you when you go
True.
into a mall, a store, where that song, you're never going to have to experience not hearing that at least 15 times during the Christmas season. So
I,
JT, I want to bring things back to you because this was your pick for the movie. So overall,
I,
why did you? And I don't want to say this as the way that I'm going to say it might sound insulting, but it's actually curious. Why was this the movie that you picked for us to look over and review during this time?
because it was my favorite Christmas movie. I Michael Caine is one of like my top 3 actors.
Michael King.
Love fucking love Michael
Okay.
Caine.
He
And he
does.
married to a black woman too, so But Michael Caine and I think this is when Gonzo shine was in the Christmas film, and him and Rizzo was just a great pairing. I absolutely loved all of the uses of the Muppets. I love the Ghost of Christmas Past. He was great, or present. I'm sorry, Christmas present. The big old dude. He was just a big old jolly giant,
I'm
and I
about to
always
say.
liked him the best. And as far as like just Gonzo going over there like yelling, expect the first ghost when the bell tolls one. Was and then like the light comes on, and Rizzo goes falling off, and he gotta grab him by the tail. So the thing that I like about the movie is things happen as
Hmm.
they would naturally, more so because of the way that they make the Muppet. And then the Muppets moved around in a funny area, but those two ran into each other because they're klutzes. You know what I'm saying? In so many other mediums, I don't feel like the extra character's motion is considered. They are background characters. Hell, they might not even move in some movies. You know what I'm saying? But they
Hmm.
made sure that every Muppet had its place, had its day, and they really pushed the limits. And Michael Caine with the Muppets was a winning combo for my favorite Christmas movie, and that's why I had to bring it up.
So
Dope.
before we get to our rankings, I want to give you guys go back into our kind of to the childhood. Who is your all-time favorite Muppet? Whether it's from the like Muppets proper or from Sesame Street, who is your favorite Muppet character? We're gonna start off with history.
Um, Kermit. Kermit's always been my guy. I believe that there's more power in Kermit than what we give credit to anybody, and I think that the best Kermit impression that we had was when he was in Star Wars when he was supposed to be like Emperor Palpatine essentially, and so I think that
Dark
like
Kermit.
Dark Kermit is that. So I felt like that showed that he had more power to this whole thing than what we as people realize Kermit has. We always looked at Kermit as the submissive dude that just got beat up by this pig. You know what I mean? And which by the way, still to this day, as a kid, I don't understand how that works between pigs and the pig and the frog, but we made it work.
We don't have
Oh, it's love.
No, that's also another thing. Why is none of those? There's only two frog kids, and then you be the two pigs. I would have
They
expected.
had equal amounts of kids. Two pigs, two frogs.
I think we should have had a
Those
green
pig
pig.
genetics are strong.
I thought we should have had a green
Yeah.
pig. I think we should have had a green pig.
Ew, no.
Don't confuse the kids.
I'm just joking. Well, Piggy would have never confused her kids if she would have had a green pig. She confused her twin daughters, dog. So, but no, I digress. I'm just joking. I think that Kermit is my favorite, man. Kermit has always been modest. I always loved his wisdom. I loved his ability to kind of like de-escalate situations more so than what he is. And then it seemed like he had a measured and calculated way of being able to express his true feelings about a specific situation without necessarily having to go to a 0 to 1,000 box. And I admire that. I admire that character, and I admire who he is as a person.
I will say this: if you are a fan of Kermit, go look up the coffee commercials that the proto version of Kermit is in. Those are some of the funniest things that you will see on the internet. But Luis, my friend, my ally,
Oh,
my, my Latino brother, who would you say is your favorite Muppet?
I really
Or
wish that you had not chosen me.
you don't like the Muppets at all?
No, I
You
love the
hate Sesame
Muppets.
Street? Oh, you can't
They're
pick.
not. They're not the same. Um,
Yes, they are.
well, yes, yeah. Um, we'll get
Yes,
into
they
that
are.
later, I guess. But anyways, no, just because my answer's not that deep. Like my favorite Muppets is the two scientists,
Beaker and
Beaker,
Beaker and
Beaker,
Herbie
and
or
the other
whatever.
dude.
And Huntington.
And I just like them because they just fuck shit up, and the other dude's just like beep 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 beep. And that's about as deep as that gets. Because my second guy after that is the Swedish chef, and he's just like a Borga Forga Warga. That's
Just a
all I got.
caricature of a Swedish person. If the Swedes were aggressive, they'd be pissed off at them. Just wow, that's how you think you sound?
Swedish fish.
Burger, burger, burger. All right, JT, what is your favorite Muppet?
Check the chat.
What'd you say here?
I want to give a special shout out to Fozzie Bear for absolutely wrecking it on At Midnight. With a whole bunch of comedians. I think Fozzie Bear Rick rolled him, dog. Like just took it away from everybody. Fozzie Bear for the FTW. So it was Kermit and also like Animal and I like Ralph as well. But those two right there, you don't get no better than Gonzo and the shrimp. And you see the freaking picture with the shrimp and his little chain on, and he always trying to mac on the hose and everything.
He loves the ladies.
Come on, little guy.
Let him hose. For me, if I were to pick a singular Muppet that I like, or a pair that I like,
I forgot about the
definitely.
Farley Brothers.
Yeah, for me, it'd be Stantler and Wardlow. Wardlow. I'm not saying that name correctly, but it's the two old men Muppets. For me,
Yes.
The grouchy old man.
the older I get, the more I'm starting to Waldorf. Okay, Stantler and Waldorf. The older I get, the more cynical I find myself becoming, and I agree. I'm more cynical in that. I agree with that more. I've never been. For me, I'm going into Sesame Street for my second one, and it's one that I think doesn't get enough love. I'm gonna go with Grover. Grover, for some reason, I've always loved going to, especially when he's Super Grover, and he specifically fucks with that dude, that other blue old dude. He just finds a way to ruin this man's day consistently.
That's Sesame Street, my nigga.
I said that Sesame Street and Muppets is the same. Jim Henson created all this shit.
Yes. The puppets are the same. Yes. So you like Super Grover? Do you like him better than the heckler guys? Because I think the heckler guys is one of the best parts of the movie.
Heckler. The hecklers are number one. Again,
like
and also Proto Kermit, but that's because he murders people in his in the old coffee commercials. So now we're gonna get to the moment of truth.
Okay.
We are about to give our ratings. So if you're unfamiliar with our rating system, we have a 5 tier system. If a movie, damn good, near flawless, great time, that's 5 out of 5. We call that a winner. The movie has some flaws, but it's still really enjoyable, still a good movie, still a good time. That's a 4 out of 5. We call that an injury. The movie has some problems, could be good, could be bad. Middle of the road, we're gonna call that there a slumper. That's a 3 out of 5. 2 out of 5, that is a dumpster. That's a
Sleeper.
bad movie, just outright bad.
Sleeper.
Nothing
Sleeper.
screaming.
Sleeper.
Well, yeah.
And the
And
one
number
is a
one, sleeper. Yeah. Okay. One is a dumpster.
Yeah.
So, history. What do you find this movie? I got a feeling I know where you're going, but where are you heading for a Muppets Christmas Carol?
We're gonna fight. I can already tell we're gonna fight.
I mean, he's called you Lewis, and he's mispronounced your name. So
I called him
you've already
Louise,
you
dog.
got
I
just
called
cause.
him Louise. Or did
right with a Z.
And he made me mayor of Munchkin
Sell
Town.
some Bob's Burgers.
Yeah.
Bro,
Yeah, history was getting all
y'all gotta do a
pragmatic.
video. Y'all gotta do a video or like a audio recanting y'all shit because y'all making me sound like I just was like disrespected this dude as soon as he came in this bitch. And I fucking
I stepped
really,
into this house and got slapped in the face. Is all that matters.
Bruh, I just told you, bro. You get the show, man. I would have you on Historical Voices every week. I appreciate you as a fucking person. Bruh, I was trying to advocate for you to be on this show.
We all look the same.
Oh, dude.
All right. I got
History. What would you
I would
rate this
prefer you
movie?
to let me go last. I would prefer you to let me go last.
No, I want
would
JT to go last because
I
this again was his pick.
prefer we should start on the high note that we should go with JT then.
No, we're gonna go.
Are
We're
we
gonna go. Matter of fact, you putting pressure on it. You go. This is your rating. You go.
No, JT,
Go ahead, express your thoughts, sir.
Nah, I prefer.
Express
I
yourself.
want to collect my thoughts before.
This is my segment. Here's my thing. This is the one segment that I command on the show. You are going now with your rating, sir.
He's got points.
Damn.
Express yourself freely. You don't have to like the movie.
Oh no,
Stick it up the
I'm
pot,
not
brother.
scared of it. I'm scared to like say my rating. It's just the fact of like I don't want to say my ratings and it just sound really angry about it. I guess.
That's only because it will be really angry.
Yeah,
There's no other way.
Yeah.
No. You just take this L, dog. Take this L.
Speak from your heart. Speak from your heart.
All right, I'm gonna play it like this. As an adult, a grown fucking adult version of myself, as a person that is, I like horror movies, I like action, sci-fi movies, I like these other adventure kind of films. I just don't feel like it was for me. I want to say that it is. Adult me will say that it's a dumpster. Young me.
Wow, you need some Christmas.
I love Christmas, dog.
Wherever you find love,
Christmas.
it feels like Christmas.
I love Christmas, but
He's a real Grinch.
My movies are Jingle All the Way, Fred Claus.
You're a mean one.
Look, history's problem is he got roasted by the kids for watching this old school shit. That's his issue.
Nah.
Yeah, the kids was not feeling it. Like, Dad, you
give me back my
iPad.
Nah, man, my kids didn't say nothing about
it.
On
something good.
They went to watch it for a little bit, and it was like, nah, we good. And I continued watching it, and it wasn't even nothing about the kids. I mean, they saw me watching it, and they sat down originally, like, oh, you watching a movie?
I think,
and they walked away.
I think it sounds like you just hating on Charles Dickens and his prejudices of his time.
Yeah, that's part of it.
Yeah, what did Charles Dickens ever?
Right, but that ain't got shit to do with the movie.
No, but
they
it does
took
have a lot
this
to do
movie
with the
and
movie.
you hate on the movie.
I didn't like the movie.
Guy who
I
wrote
really
it.
genuinely didn't like the movie, not because of the fact of the idea.
You got to defend this man who's been dead for
time.
well over 100 years.
I mean,
And he's still gonna tax the movie
gotta
extra
defend.
star.
It's not even the fact of like the idea of just like Charles Dickens, man. And I promise you, the rating is not because of that. I just genuinely didn't like the movie. It was a trash movie to me.
All
I didn't
right,
like it.
sir. That is your opinion.
I
You
would
are
say
well
I would say
within
if
of
I had
having it. We hold nothing against you, brother.
gotcha, about to say that
This is a safe space.
I actually was about to say I almost wanted to give it a sleeper because of two situations. I love the Ghost of Christmas Present, and I like the fucking acapella song between Kermit and his son, like Tiny Tim, when they was walking down. I thought that was a cool moment right there. So I like that.
Beatboxing.
Man, they were beatboxing, bro. Homie was hitting it, and I was like, all right, cool. I dig that. That was a good moment. But I think that the message becomes really mixed up, especially at the very end, because like I said, I mean, in the end, everybody was cool with Scrooge when he was dropping that money all over the place. You know what I mean? So with that, I think it just defeats the purpose of the message at the very end, which he was trying to teach Scrooge. Basically, you had three spirits that told him, convinced him really well on how to spend his money and stop being cheap. That's really what it
They
was.
took him to literal hell.
No, they didn't. I think if you want me to tell you what the best Christmas, there's two versions of Christmas carols that I really would say that I like because I do like the Christmas Carol story. For those people who fucking think that I'm taxing Charles Dickens, Christmas Carol, they did an FX special on it, a really fucking dark one. Did a really good job on it. The second one, which is a Disney one with actual Scrooge McDuck, they actually did put him in the grave and everything like that. That actually was a really good one, and that was the full animated one with Scrooge McDuck and stuff.
One,
Huh?
Scrooge.
With Scrooge McDuck. That was the
Oh,
Christmas.
Mickey's Christmas Carol.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. How about Scrooge? You seen Scrooge?
That one's good.
Bill Murray.
Yeah.
Yeah, I seen the
Nah,
Bill Murray
not Scrooged. Scrooge.
the one with Jim Carrey, right? Or no, oh no, that's the old
No.
one. Oh, that's 1971.
Yes, that's the old one. That's the one where Scrooge actually goes to hell,
Yeah.
and that shit is hilarious. You gotta watch Scrooge. All right, next Christmas we gonna do Scrooge. Y'all gotta watch that.
Nah, bro,
That is if
Bro,
you think there's only two good versions of A Christmas Carol, you got some other news coming.
nah.
I like the Looney Tunes one as well as the Flintstones one. But anyway, Louise,
Bro, they're so
go
mediocre,
ahead and
bro.
drop your rating for the movie.
I'm gonna give this a solid 4. To me, it tickles all the right bells. To me, it does feel like
Have to be an
Christmas. I don't think it's a bad time. I think it's a great family classic. I don't have a problem with Charles Dickens. I don't like to pick fights with dead people. Um, you know, but that's just me.
innocent rich white man that lived all the.
I
What did he ever
Are
do?
there better Christmas movies than A Muppet Christmas Carol?
I'm kidding.
Yes, but you can't go wrong with this one.
All right, JT,
Dope.
the man who picked this movie, go ahead and give us your rating.
This
6
movie
stars
is
because
a
of Michael
9 out of
Caine.
10. This movie is a 9 out of 10 that absolutely makes it a winner. 100% winner. The only thing that could have been better is for even more banging songs.
I
That's
was
it.
gonna say
That's the only
more
thing.
Michael Caine.
More music. But like, so apparently there was a song in the middle of the film where Scrooge goes to the past basically and sees his old girlfriend he shunned, singing about how he missing out basically. Love is gone. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And that was really, I think, a tender moment. But apparently that was only on the VHS. And when the DVD came out, they cut it. And now that it's back on Disney, they put it back in the film. And so it seems weird to me that they would take out such a touching, tender moment that really got to Scrooge. Like, dog, you could have had a nice woman who was really down for you, but you was a greedy SOB. You know what I'm saying? So, uh,
It probably has more to do with the VHS than like the inability to actually have it.
no. It was on the VHS. It wasn't on the DVD.
Oh shit, never mind.
Apparently, it slowed the movie down too much or whatever. But that was one of the things that reached Scrooge. You know what I'm saying? So I thought it put a little more effort into that with the songs. One of the things I like about songs is it really takes a moment and it expounds on it. So for a minute or two, you're really going to town on this idea. And so when they're talking about wherever you find love, it feels like Christmas, It is what the spirit of the heart, the message if you hear it, it makes it last all year. Da 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 da. All that stuff. That's the kind of stuff that you look for to get memory. You know what I'm saying? You repeat that kind of stuff. You sing along with it. So yeah, I'm done. I'm done talking.
And
For
Drew,
me, I would give this a low edger. I find like I like the songs in the movie. I think it's a good movie.
Mhm.
It's not my favorite Christmas movie. In fact, the movie that I picked this year isn't even my favorite Christmas movie. I just thought it'd be hilarious for us to do Friday afternoon since
Scandalous.
it's a Christmas movie. It'd be hilarious. But anyway, I enjoy the songs. I love a lot of the stuff that the Muppets do. I especially love the Tiny Tim stuff. I like Michael Caine. It's a dope movie. Solid 4 out of 5 in my opinion. And that is going to do it for
oh, you
our
saying
review
4 out of
section for
5?
this week.
You saying 4 out of 5?
Yeah, 4 out of 5.
All right, cool.
Edger, yeah, 4 out of 5. Now, that is going to do it for our review segment this week. Next week, we have another Christmas movie coming up. Again, it is Friday after next, the third of the Friday trilogy. That's right, Friday is a trilogy. Mike Epps, Ice Cube, the film debut of Cat Williams, Terry Crews as the, let's just say, probably his most iconic black role. That or his role in White Chicks. But we'll get into that next week. History. Go ahead and take us home for the week.
So with that, man, that put us at an average of a 3.25. So that makes that movie a nice slumper overall and our overall rating. But
That's only because you skewered it with your 1-star rating.
yeah, man, it's a 1 star rating.
Throw
Give
that
me-
out. Then what's the average? Because we all know you's a hater. So throw that out, and
I'm
then
not
what's
a
the
hater.
average?
My opinion matters just as much, and I feel like y'all love this movie too much, and y'all were not critical enough on this movie.
That's only because you's a Grinch.
Make me feel like a Grinch all you want.
You're a mean
I just
one.
feel what you want to
Mr.
feel.
Grinch.
Feel what you need to feel, bro. That cool.
You really are a heel.
Not a heel, dog. But if I was a Grinch, remember my heart grows about 10 times larger, and then at the
And
end
then
of
you
this,
die of cardiac arrest because that's not humanly possible.
That's dangerous. Your heart
That is a
shouldn't grow that
Sounds
much.
bad.
that is a
My
bad
spleen
move.
hurts thinking about that.
French anatomy works different than human anatomy. Their hearts can grow that much.
So with that,
Wait, did y'all know that there's a Grinch horror movie that's coming out?
No, but I want to
Like
watch it now.
similar to the Winnie the Pooh horror movie that's being made. Yes, there is a horror movie based on the
The
Grinch,
mean
which is
one.
I think, yeah, you're a mean one.
The
I
mean
want to
one.
see it. Yeah, I want to see it.
I thought I was excited to see
What-
that Die Hard Santa movie that's coming out.
I kind of want to see that, but I don't know if it's gonna be.
Naughty List looks
No,
dumb and it looks
Violent
great.
Night. Violent Night,
Violent
that's
Night.
the one. It's
There we
basically,
go. Yeah.
yeah, that's where David Harbour from Stranger Things plays Santa Claus,
Mhm.
and it's basically Santa with some Die Hard and a little bit of John Wick in it. But
Yep.
I
David
apologize,
Harbour needs
history.
some
You were
money.
wrapping up the show.
Nah, David Harbour needs some money.
You were
That's all
wrapping up
that
the
is.
show.
That Stranger Things money must be running out really low. Hellboy must have took a big hit on his paycheck, his pockets.
I mean, he's in the MCU. He's in Black Widow, so he's fine.
So he picked two bad superhero horror movies to be a part of. So with that,
Oh.
with that, two bad superhero movies. So with that, I'm going to also ask you a real good question before we go. Is it me or Mariah Carey's "All I Want for Christmas" is like the purge tone for Christmas? Is it me?
Like, are you saying as people get murdered leading up to Christmas, did they hear Mariah Carey's "All I Want for Christmas" or
You know how like at the
like?
beginning of the purge they got that
Oh,
horror sound.
yeah,
I
yeah.
feel like that's what Mariah Carey's "All I Want for Christmas" is. I mean,
No, for sure.
it's the purge sound for Christmas. Just throw it out
Yeah.
there.
Like retail workers know that they're in for a season of hell when that starts playing.
Bruh. Oh God.
You know what?
Uh,
As somebody who was a former retail worker, it's not that song that we played. I was working in Target during the year where that Adele "Hello" song came out.
Oh
For
my god.
me, that and the Fuller House theme, like in our electronics section, they on a loop they were playing that Adele song and a promo teaser for the Fuller House TV show. And to this day, I not Adele. I can't hate Adele. She's awesome, but that song I can't listen to, and I can't really fuck with Carly Rae Jepsen because that song was burned into my head because I heard it 80,000 times during that period. So
Oh my
yeah,
gosh,
fuck that.
man.
JT, what's the voice of reason for this week?
Well, like the ghost of Christmas present said in a Muppets Christmas Carol,
Hey,
wherever
JT,
you find
this is
love,
my goddamn part.
yes.
And I say, and I ask you the question, what's the voice of reason this week? But before we do that, we got to find out what everybody's socials is. This is how you end the show. Jamel, what you got going on this week?
I don't like your tone.
So aggressive.
Your tone is your tone has been
You didn't
off
give
this
credit
whole
to
show.
nobody in this damn show. Give credit to the who people deserve. Jamel,
You
what you
have been,
doing this week?
you have been off. Your energy has been off this whole week, sir.
Tell
So
them about the
follow
watch
me
alongs.
on. I will in this moment once you stop interrupting, sir, Mr. Williams. Anyway,
Mom and dad are
follow me
fighting.
on
That's really your name.
Wait. No, give them two the
if that
same
is your
smoke.
name.
Give them the two. The same goddamn smoke you just about to give me just now. No, they cut you off too.
Well, what you are repeatedly doing it, and I want to move things along
oh.
amicably.
All right, cool.
So,
You want to get all social justice on the darker brother in the corner. Okay, I get it. All right, go ahead. All right. We supposed to be family. We supposed to be kin folks.
Come on, bro. Let's get this over with. I got a lot of voiceover work to do.
Go ahead.
now, follow me on TikTok at Eastside Reviews. Also follow me on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel Eastside Reviews. Instagram Jamel727. TikToks are coming out every day. I've got some lists, Power Ranger related, some shows that you may or may not remember. I enjoy doing those. Do you remember Tattooed Teenage Alien Fighters from Beverly Hills? You don't? I introduce it to you. Yeah, those are my socials. That's it. And yeah, take care and be healthy.
Awesome. JT, what do you have coming up this week?
Apparently, I'm trying to convince you to come to my house and watch Scrooge.
Dog, we ain't doing this. Why are we doing it? Why are we doing this?
Grinch.
You can call me a Grinch all you want, man. Nah, homie. That's we. I don't need as much Christmas Carol and Home Alone. Don't do it for me, bro. Home Alone definitely doesn't do it for me. With that, I appreciate your love for those two that genre of Christmas movie. Next one, Luis.
Hello.
What is the where people can find you?
Why didn't
And
you let JT give any of his socials or anything like that?
he was done.
I ain't got none. Hit me up on Xbox at JT The Voice.
I'm about to
Okay,
say,
we'll play some COD.
didn't we have a whole
That's all I
conversation
got.
about this like on social media? He doesn't have anything. He's like JT the voice, and then on video games now at this point.
Y'all, I'm about to delete my Twitter. I'm about to get off of Facebook. Maybe I should just be exclusively on Instagram. I don't know. I need Facebook. I need Meta to have to get disinvested in that company before I get back on that real talk.
Speaking of that, man, I'm kind of really heavily leaning over towards like not like getting rid of our Twitter page too. So I don't blame you.
In protest.
Huh?
You can do it in protest.
You can
That
do it in
works for me.
You could do it in protest. There's another website actually, another social media out there that's actually supposed to be like all raw and like social media versus, and I don't know.
You're not getting on Parlor just because Kanye's trying to buy it.
No, it's not Parler. It's something else.
Is it Hive?
Or
Wherever-
Mastodon?
Where
yeah, I
everybody's
think it's
going?
Mastodon. I think that's what it is called. I don't remember.
Is it Honeycomb? I'm just gonna keep saying other random now.
It's just
Is it Albatross?
yes.
Blue Trapezoid. You can find us on Blue
Let's build
Trapezoid.
our own social
I
media.
think we should go back to Reverb Nation and MySpace. I'm just throwing it out there.
I think we should build our own social media and have some dumbass billionaire buy it, and we can get rich.
Fair
I
enough.
think that's the hustle. That's
Fair
a
enough.
scam.
You live
It
closer
is.
to.
We just have to operate it
Silicon.
well for 10 years.
You live closer to Austin, Texas, and Silicon Valley, so
Yeah.
shit, let's go for it. Especially with Luis behind us, he's got this. I'm joking with you.
I mean, I can run your entire team. I ain't got no problem.
Let's go for it. Luis, man, where can people find you? What's going on? What projects you got this
Um,
week?
I I don't want anybody to know where I live, so I'm okay with this. Uh, I'm not big in the social medias. I use it for all the wrong things. I like my algorithms to make me look at scantily clad women, and seeing the memes.
Okay,
Um, so I don't do anything other than being a bad human being.
fair enough, man. All right, any projects you got going on?
I'm going to the gym.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
That's all I got. I'm going to the gym.
Beans.
Ah,
Getting healthy.
all right,
Uh,
okay. You can find me tomorrow where I'll be playing some Evil Dead with some friends as well. On Friday and Saturday, we're gonna try to prestige these damn characters and level up a lot of these other characters as it keeps going. Check out our podcast. It's actually new episodes is for Black Panther. Part 1 and part 2 is up right now. 3 and 4 will be up hopefully this weekend. It's a lot of goddamn hours of listening to content, but it's worth it. Oh, 3, 4, and 5. I should correct myself. 3, 4, and then 5 is a bonus part. It's talking about plot holes and MCU with the crew for another specific Discord, which I'll explain to you later. Um, with that, check out the fucking podcast, man. Check out the podcast. Check out the podcast. Check out the podcast. Also, join our Discord. Looking at actual show notes itself. Join our Discord, man. I have a goal, and hopefully we can hit this goal. And keep this thing growing, keep this conversation going as well. With that, man, JT, every week we end the show because we get a little confused. We trip and stumble over cracks on the ground sometimes, and sometimes we need some guidance, some words to make us feel like we're warm on the inside and make us feel like we've needed some type of guidance, even when the darkness out there and we got a little light at the end of the tunnel. So with that, JT, what's the voice of reason for the week?
Like the ghost of Christmas present said on A Muppet's Christmas Carol, wherever you find love, it feels like Christmas. Over the years, you probably have a lot of different people who come to your house for Christmas. I hope you do. People come and go, but those ones who keep coming back and keep coming back, treasure them. Because not everybody is with you. Who is with you is actually with you. Let me try that again. Not everybody who is with you is actually with you. So the people who insist on keep on coming back into your life to celebrate good times with you. If they're there in the bad times too, hold on to them very tightly. And do your best to bring as much Christmas cheer as you can. Now we're in the month of December. Let's hit this Christmas full swing. Because I tell you what, I need a little Christmas right about now. I need it to feel nice. I needed to sing Let It Snow and all these other Christmas carols. So go ahead and put your music on repeat and hold the people that you love tight.